Hello, so I just wanted to make a video just about something I've been thinking about for the last couple of weeks that's been bothering me a lot. And just last week, the week we've just had, there was a guy in Queensland who came out that this guy's been like sexually abusing children for many, many years, 90 something victims, like 2,000, almost 2,000 actual cases of sexual abuse against children, almost 200 instances of having sex with a child under the age of 10. And they're talking about putting this man away for the rest of his life, which, fantastic, chef's kiss. But the week before, the Mercury published a story that's not new to Tasmania. Anyway, I'm sorry. If you do not want to listen to my little political spiel, feel free to scroll on and have a blessed afternoon. But the story that I've been thinking about a lot for the past couple of weeks, because it's just absolutely ridiculous, is the story about John Millwood. He was the convicted pedophile from Launceston, Tasmania. So he was convicted in 2016. He pled guilty to abusing this boy in his pathology practices in Launceston. It was in the 80s, and I think it was from when this boy was like 10 to 15 or 16. And so he pled guilty in 2016. And this story is crazy, and it just gets like even more insane. But he's sentenced in 2016 to 4 years, which already is just like 4 years, okay, for essentially ruining somebody's life, all right, whatever. But he was given a non-parole period of 2 years. So when they convicted him, they were like, this guy is really unapologetic, he's repulsive, he definitely is like a threat to society. So anyway, his 2 years comes about for his non-parole period. The psychologist at the prison was like, we absolutely should not let this man out of jail. He's 73 at this stage. He was just like, absolutely not. And this guy, John Millwood, made a comment that the only reason he was put in jail was because like child sexual abuse was the flavor of the month. Absolutely not. It's because you're disgusting, and it's illegal. But anyway, so yeah, 2 years comes about. They were like, he's super unapologetic. Absolutely should not let him out on parole. We definitely should not let him out of prison. And they were just like, he's only served 2 years of this grossly inadequate prison sentence anyway. So naturally, what do? They let him out of prison. First of all, just kudos to the University of Tasmania and the city of Launceston. They had given this man all these honorary awards. So this guy's a very successful businessman in Tasmania, millionaire, had all of this money. So these two, they revoked his awards. So amazing, fantastic, love that. But they were just like, all right, this guy has a really high risk of reoffending. He was banned from living in Launceston. But this is where the story just gets really good. His victim was awarded $5.3 million in court from this man. And this man had $5.3 million because he was very, very wealthy. But on the same day that John Millwood was sentenced, he basically began giving away all of his assets, like everything worth millions of dollars. Gave it to his daughter, gave it like all this property, all this artwork, businesses, gave it away to like his ex-partner, gave it away to these businesses that were owned by family members. So he made himself bankrupt before, like on the day he was sentenced, as he went to jail. And he has this accountant from the Findex group, which is in Hobart. His accountant's name is Ken Davey. And he said, no, we wanted to have all of his affairs in orders in case anything happened to him, like in case he died, basically in prison. But isn't that what a will is for? Like that's why you would have a will, in case you die. Anyway, so just this last week, it was reported on again because this accountant, Ken Davey from the Findex group, stood up in federal court and was like, no, we weren't trying to hide money from his victims. Like, absolutely not. That's not what we were trying to do. We were just, because John Millwood, this convicted pedophile, had been diagnosed with pancreatic cancer, some form of cancer, which like sucks. Nobody likes cancer. But then they're kind of saying that that's why they were getting everything in order. Not trying to hide money from his victims. And this is where the story gets really good because the Findex group in Hobart, so last week they had on their website that this accountant, Ken Davey, was a partner at their firm. He'd worked there for like 19 years or something. All of a sudden, Ken Davey has disappeared from the Findex Group's website. So I would like to know if he still works there or if they're just pretending that he doesn't work there. I also would like to know how this man stands up in federal court and he's like, we definitely weren't trying to do that, when that's absolutely what they were trying to do. And then how he goes home to his wife and children and be like, we don't lie, we don't steal, we don't cheat. And then anyway, but the real icing on the cake is that Malcolm Turnbull, the former Prime Minister of Australia, I think from 2015 to 2018 maybe, is on the board of the Findex group. And I just, like, nobody has said anything about this. Nobody has said like, oh, actually we're gunning for a convicted pedophile, rather than actually trying to stand up and help the person perhaps whose life he has ruined. Anyway, so this court case is ongoing, but I just feel like it's crazy because we live in a society where the moral standard is just so skewed, where we're actually standing up and protecting these convicted pedophiles, lying for them. And it's just like, where is the integrity in this whole scenario? And it's just like this, it's just absolutely wild to me that people are not like kicking up more of a stink about this story. So this guy, John Millwood, this convicted pedophile, I believe now lives in Hobart, with his like ex-partner, who he gave a bunch of property to. So he still is living large, even though he is technically bankrupt. But anyway, if you've made it this far, God bless you. I just want the world to be a better place for our children. And I would just love to hear from anybody from this company, from Findex specifically, just saying, actually, this is our stance on whatever, because it's just, this whole thing is just absolutely wild to me. Anyway, God bless your afternoon.